The MNHockey.tv continues coverage here of the section playoffs. And here's a look back at the first period. Joining me is Minnesota Hockey Connection's very own Jerry Burrow. Benilde St. Margaret's and Blake. The Bears take the 1-0 lead. You know, they pushed hard to start the period, and then they end up scoring a goal midway through the period. The Blake Bears do, and that one was scored by their William Matzke. Picking up the assist was Theo Crosby. It was like a parting of the Red Sea there. He gained entry, and it's just, you know, they just gave him so much cushion, and he could just snap it home.
Matzke took his time, very poised, before he risked that home, you know. So it was a very good play on his part. But overall, I thought both teams started out really safe, you know. They didn't want to make a mistake. And then Benilde started getting a couple pucks in deep. But what's happening so far, I think, and especially the second half of the period, is that I think Blake is winning the one-on-one puck battles.
And they weren't in the early part of the period. Yeah. Blake had the first shift was really good, and then Benilde started asserting their will, especially off the rush. But when the puck's been stuck to the wall in the one-on-one battles, and Blake's sticks have been very active and good too.
Right. And they're throwing that pass out, long passes. You know, there's players out there.
It almost appeared as though Blake was willing to chip and chase for a while there.
Right, and I think both teams they both have to get those pucks deep. And one thing too I like about that first period is the refs aren't calling soft penalties. They let them play, I thought, overall. And so that's good for the game, I think, when you play a playoff game this big.
One penalty called on Benilde St. Margaret's Bischel. Shots on goal read 8-2 here on my count. They've got 7 downstairs. I'm going to disagree. It's 8-2 in favor of Blake and Carson Limesand. You know, a Bischel penalty came seconds after the Bears took the 1-0 lead. They could have done some damage there at the power play, but Carson Limesand made a really good save off a redirect, I believe off of Blum down low, and then there were a couple of other chances that he shut down. They need him to play well, but they're not going to win a lot of hockey games with 2 shots on goal.
No, and I think Benilde has to start skating. A few times there, when they were in their own zone there, looked like they were standing around looking where's the puck, and I mean, they got to stop that right now and start skating and show them that the team that they are. And they got some offensive weapons, but they just have to get deep. And when they get deep, they're a very good team because they got some D out there that can pinch then, and they can do different things.
Defensively, I felt as though the Benilde St. Margaret's core, the D-men, were a little bit back on their heels with the offensive power of Blake. And you could feel it as they were giving a lot of gap and a lot of cushion there, but also seemed a little bit unsure of handling the puck. We're used to seeing them being a lot better with it and stepping up in the play. I think there's a little bit of Blake skating that's becoming a problem off the back line for Benilde St. Margaret's.
Well, the D really do have to pick it up, and if they do, Blake's going to make some mistakes as they're trying to throw some players out there, and if they make a mistake, Benilde's going to come back on the odd man rushes then.
Finally, Blake is just flat out shooting the puck.
Right.
You know, if they get to the tops of the circles within any region there, they're just letting it go. They're forcing Carson Limesand to handle the biscuit. And I think if I'm Ken Pauley, I'm going to start saying, you got to put some pucks on the net and get to the net.
Yeah, they got 3 or 4 players that skate real good, and I tell you what, they can move that puck around, you know. And so Benilde has to stay out of the box, and they got to start moving their feet better. And the D, I think, have to start doing a little pinching and looking at the opportunities that they have.
Finally, the depth on these two teams is in full force. They both have plenty of players that can play, and you know they're very worthy of this section final game, and they're looking every bit the part.
By the top 5 on both teams, you know, they're pretty scary out there.